Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to Rusty's Rustic Pantry. It's been a while since I posted any videos, but this is just a little bit of a catch up because it's now 12 months since we started to cure and hang this prosciutto, and I think this time we should really try and carve some. The first thing in the process though is going to be getting rid of all the lard and the white mould that has come on the skin off, and that's going to be taken care of just with some kitchen towel. It's on rather thick, and then a good going over with some white wine vinegar to get the rest off in the mould. Let's get the bin around here. In fact, this has been hanging up in the house for a couple of days to come up to room temperature, which is greatly assisted in softening the lard. We need to get it all off, especially around these crevices, like so. And what I'll do is we'll cut the video and we'll come back in a few minutes when I've actually taken this all off and we're ready to get it into the stand and see how it's cured and how it tastes. So we'll come back in a couple of minutes. We've cleaned everything off, all the lard has gone from the prosciutto. The only fat that remains is the residual fats that are left or naturally present in the leg itself. It's been a bit difficult to clean them all off. Now, as far as the mould is concerned, I don't think it's actually mould. If I turn this over, I'll show you. It's actually quite hard and difficult to remove it. I think it's actually salts that have leached back through the skin during the air drying process. So, there we have it, 5.5 kilos finished weight. 30% loss, which is what the original target was. Now, when I came to do this, what I didn't take into consideration, when Parma hams are finished, they usually what's called full hock. They are from the hip at this end through to the trotter at that. The reason I've taken a short hock is that it's apparently first time round, till you gain your experience, it's easier to cure because of the massive length of bone that you have protruding from the far right hand side of this joint. Now, that's all well and good, but what I didn't realise is that all the usual ham stands that you find on the market are for whole hock length hams, like your Ibericos and your Jambons. So, let's just put this out of the way for a second. I have had to come up with a custom made ham stand which I made this morning, and here it is. Nice sturdy chopping block, couple of dowels put into that block and glued in place, and some stainless picture hooks that have been nailed in, bent up to make some spikes for the bottom of the ham to rest in. Now, let's see if this works. This is going to be quite pleasing if it works. So we take our prosciutto into the middle there. Then you get onto the spikes, and then these dowels are flexible, so all we do is put over the top of them a little cable tie and pull it tight. And there we go. Well, I suppose really, and this is the moment of truth. I've got a boning knife here, Victorinox boning knife, which I've just ground, and I'll just sharpen up on steel. Choosing different types of knife, that'll become apparent in a moment. The other knife that I've re-ground is this steak knife. Again, I'll show you why I've chosen the steak knife in a little while. Again, just give it a rehone very quickly on the butcher's steel. Now what I intend to do here is remove the outer layer along here of the meat that was exposed to the lard. On the back of it, if I turn this round, I will remove the skin, the hide, and the layer of subcutaneous fat, so the fat that resides under the skin of the animal. And then we'll start making slices very, very thinly from the top down. Now, as I said, normally this would be a long hock. It would be narrower that way, longer this way. As I've liked to say since the beginning of this project, this is Prosciutto Mersey style, so there's no telling what will go on. Right, I am really, really, really nervous now because this is 12 months work and 12 months of waiting. So let me just bring this up a touch. There we go. Okay. Right, I do apologise for that. I had a bit of problems with the camera. So I've drafted in my wife Jane to come and hold the camera for me. Say hi, Jane. Say hello.
Hi.
Yeah. And this is easy, Adam. Right. I'm going to start trying to carve this. I've already taken one layer off the top. As you can see, I showed you earlier from there. Now I'm going to have to try and take some of the skin off of the side. And it's quite tough. Quite hard. I didn't really expect it to be that difficult to shave off. There we go. There's the wedge. Again, carve down through that fat layer. We're looking to get down to the whole strip here that is meat. Now, there's no odours coming off this at the moment. Nice vertical cut there, so we've got something to cut to. Again, working down to the meat. We want to finish up with a nice flat surface that we can start taking some slices from. So a nice little bit here. Okay. These pieces I'm going to leave on the cutting board, so they may be helpful to cover the meat up after we start slicing. So I'm taking this a little bit more now from the other side. So we've got a nice flat section there, and we then take it over thinly over the posterior cut of the joint. Now then, this is where we start looking to harvest our meat from. So, in fact, I'm going to stick with this knife. I'm not going to use a steak knife. I'm going to take a cut very thinly from the saddle piece here. See how thin that is? And again, you can see the knife travelling through the meat. Again. It's quite dry in texture, and I'll lift it up after this cut and just show you how dark the meat actually is. It's retained a lovely red colour all the way through. So I'll take one slice from there. Nice and thin. And I suppose this is a point where I take the risk of dying of botulism and I taste it. That slice was quite thick, thicker than the others. It's nowhere near as salty as I thought it would be. Nowhere near. In fact, I can taste the garlic that was in the original cure and the pepper. That's not actually quite bad. I'll try and take a thinner slice off of this part because it's deeper into the meat. That's not bad at all. Could possibly do with being aged a bit more. I mean, it's only 12 months old, but I could recover that with the lard at any point and just leave it for another 6 months. But that's quite edible. It's actually quite nice. I'm quite surprised. I was really worried as to how this would turn out, and after 12 months I'm really pleasantly surprised. It's not bad at all. It's something I'll definitely try again anyway. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your patience over the past 12 months. I'll let you know when we get around to trying some more. Take care. Bye bye. Okay, focus on the meat. Right, just in addition to what we did the other day with this prosciutto, as you can see from the meat, we've been taking a few slices away the past few days, and I've been indulging myself, and one or two other people have had some samples, and we've enjoyed some of the meat, and we've got further down into the prosciutto, and I don't know if you can have a look at the colour in here. That's a lovely deep red colour. We have had this wrapped in cling film, which I think has probably been in error. Now if we look at the side here, we're starting to get a rebuild of the mould. The white mould that we thought we would get at the beginning of the cure, and again, this is just a penicillin mould that is expected to form on all of these meats. You know when you have like salamis, and you see a salami and the outside is white, this, it just scrapes off, is exactly what you see on the outside of those meats. So I think what I'm going to do now from now on is leave this to air dry. So we just come back up to the top and have a look at the meat at the top here. Another schoolboy error I made when I first started carving this was to remove the fat. It's the subcutaneous layer of fat under the skin. If I just turn this round, you can see I've taken the skin away and I've left the fat behind this time. Why? Quite simply because I've been led to believe by one or two people who are in the know that this is where the majority of the flavour of the meat is, with that piece of meat, that fat that lays there. Now bear in mind, this is the cheaper cut of the meat. If we look at the ball joint here, okay, that runs up to the end here. That's the edge of the bone. So you look at an angle going through there. There's not much of that layer of meat left. That is the front part of the leg. Everything from here down is the back part of the leg, the greater muscle. Okay, the bigger muscle of the leg, and that is where you're going to find the majority of the quality of the meat. So yes, this is 12 months old. What I've found, as I already said, the outer layers maybe at the cheaper end, a little bit dry, but I'm going to start to try and carve some meat for you now from here. I've got a plate there ready, so nice white plate so you can have a look when we get on there now. I am by no stretch of the imagination a master at trying to carve this meat. It's a nightmare to try and cut it so thinly while it's on the bone. But what I've done is I've got my sharpest knife that I have. This is a Buffalo River knife. It's just been rehoned on a stone and then onto a steel. I'll try using that. If not, I'm going to go onto a filleting knife that may well do as good. So this is a little bit tricky. So if you want to back up a tiny little bit, Rosie, we'll see what we can do with this knife. So do you want to get higher up? Just look down. We should be able to see the blade. See, I'm losing it already. Pass through the meat. I'm going to try doing it from this way. Now let's turn it round. Like that. Let's do it right-handed. That's better. He says, cutting through, we're taking a little bit of that fat with it. There we go. Straight the way through to the bone. Let me just try doing one with the fillet knife, see if it's a little bit longer blade. So, problem with the fillet knife is it's a very, very flexible blade. Got to be quite careful. No, it's not really doing us any favours. Right, the only other thing I can think of is perhaps a steak blade. Let me just get my steel. I'll give it a quick hone. See, should really have invested in a hand knife, but never mind. So from here, nice long blade, nice long cuts. That's better. Look at that curl up. I'm going to cut down that bone a little bit further. So we've got something to go to. Start again. There we go. You can see the blade through the meat. It's very, very thin. That's where we cut. We start getting that lovely red colour. Oh. I'm no expert carving this. If I was going to make a choice, I'd probably carve off straight from the bone and then put the rest of it through a slicing machine, but I'm not going to insult what I've done so far by doing that. If it's, you know, it's taken 12 months to sort the ham out. Look at that, with the fat attached to it. You can see the moisture glistening on that. A bit more. That's it. Oh, that's better. That's better. There we go. Look at that. That lovely glistening fat that's attached to that meat. You see the moisture within the meat, the little tiny veins of fat that are running through it. I mean, this was a cheap joint of meat. It wasn't a Berkshire or anything like that. It was just a leg of pork that I purchased down at the local wholesale butchers just to experiment with. Now imagine if you tried doing this with a Berkshire, or what about quite common things now in the UK is wild boar. I mean, something like that, you know, the nutty flavour of wild boar in a Parma ham. Imagine what that'd be like. There beautiful. Want to try a bit, Rosie?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, you have that bit, I'll try a bit. Yeah, I'll take a bit of the fat. You have a... Hang on, look at that. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
It's nice.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. You can imagine that round asparagus, melon, all the classic ways of serving Parma ham. Oh. More of that. Okay. A bit more. Just a bit. That's a nice juicy bit. There you go.
Okay.
Look at that. Perfect. Over 12 months and the first ever experiment.
What are the main textures you're getting?
It's firm, but it doesn't take any chewing. It goes into, it's quite an unusual texture. It's as Parma ham is. I mean, it's nowhere near as salty as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near as dry either. There, you know, there are some. I mean, that's quite moist. I think if we had probably a better quality pork to start with, if we'd have gone, you know, tried to source something like a Berkshire or something like that, something with a nice, really, really nice fat marbling throughout it. I mean, you know, that would have been really cool. Now, what I've done there is I've made a nice big slice into that fat so that when you get down there, both sides, we've got that on there when it's cut. And what I'll do is I'll just cover this up. There's a nice little bit here to pick at. I mean, look how moist that fat is. That fat is just... Well, to be perfectly honest, if you didn't know the meat was cured, you would think it was just, you know, straight off the animal without anything. And that is lovely. Anyway, yeah, I'm quite happy to say that's a resounding success. I really do like it. I mean, we have been picking at it for a few days. It's fun enough.
Proud of your creation.
Proud of my creation, you know. Yeah. Well, it's not my creation. I just followed the, you know, in the footsteps of, well, basically of the ancients who used to do this as a way of living. But this is Prosciutto di Merseyside, you know, cured here in Liverpool, in the Liverpool air. The meat saved outside with some herbs and some spices, and it's 12 months old. And I think what I'm going to do is wait until Christmas, and I'll buy 3 or 4 of these perhaps, or some better quality legs, and we'll take it from there, and we'll do some ready for the Christmas after. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen, and if you have a go at doing what we're doing, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much indeed. Take care.